Welcome to Teacher Preps. In this video, we're covering the essential concepts you need to know to pass the CEOE Field 085 Special Education Comprehensive Assessment. This Oklahoma Educator Certification exam covers everything from child development to IEP writing to classroom management. By the end of this video, you'll have a solid foundation for exam success. Let's dive in. Let's start with what to expect on test day. The CEOE 085 consists of 80 multiple-choice questions plus one constructed response assignment where you'll analyze a case study. You have 4 hours to complete everything, and you need a score of 240 to pass. The exam tests 5 major areas, and the weighting matters for your study time. Here's how the exam breaks down. Subarea 3, Learning Across the Curriculum, is your biggest section at 30%. That's nearly a third of your score. Subarea 2 on assessment and IEPs is 21%. Subareas 1 and 4 are each 17%, and the case study is 15%. Focus your study time according to these weights. Let's start with Subarea 1, Understanding Development and Learning. This section is worth 17% of your exam. You need to know the major developmental theories, understand typical versus atypical development, and be familiar with the different disability categories under IDEA. Piaget's 4 stages are guaranteed to appear on your exam. Sensorimotor is birth to age 2. This is when object permanence develops. Pre-operational is ages 2 to 7. Children think symbolically but are egocentric and struggle with conservation tasks. Concrete operational is 7 to 11. Logical thinking about concrete objects. And formal operational begins around age 11. This is abstract and hypothetical thinking. Remember, students with disabilities may not progress through these stages at typical rates. Vygotsky is another must-know theorist. His zone of proximal development, or ZPD, is the gap between what a student can do alone versus what they can do with help. This is where instruction should happen. Scaffolding is the temporary support you provide, like training wheels, that you gradually remove as the student gains independence. These concepts are foundational to special education practice. You're making great progress. What you've seen so far is just a preview of our comprehensive CEOE 085 study guide. To get complete coverage of all 15 competencies, plus our 80-question practice test and interactive vocabulary trainer, visit teacherpreps.com. Click the link in the description to get instant access and make passing simple. Now let's continue with assessment and IEPs. Subarea 2 covers assessment, transitions, and IEPs, 21% of your exam. This is where you need to know assessment terminology, understand functional behavior assessments, and master IEP and IFSP components. Functional behavior assessment, or FBA, identifies why a behavior is happening. There are 4 functions of behavior. Memorize these. Attention. The student acts out to get noticed. Escape. The behavior helps avoid something unpleasant, like difficult work. Tangible. The student wants to obtain something, a toy, activity, or item. And sensory. The behavior provides internal stimulation, like rocking or hand flapping. All behavior is communication. When you understand the function, you can teach a replacement behavior. You must know IEP components. Present levels, also called PLAAFP, describes current performance and how the disability affects access to curriculum. Measurable annual goals must be specific and measurable, not vague. The IEP specifies special education services, related services like speech or OT, accommodations and modifications, and how the student will participate in state assessments. And starting at age 16, there must be a transition plan with post-secondary goals. Now for your biggest section, Subarea 3 is worth 30% of your exam. This covers classroom environment, behavior management, reading instruction, math instruction, and communication. Pay close attention here. For reading, know the 5 components: phonological awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. A critical distinction. Phonological awareness is the broader skill. It includes syllables, rhymes, and onset rhyme. Phonemic awareness specifically involves individual sounds, or phonemes. Both are about spoken language. No letters yet. Phonics connects letters to sounds. For struggling readers, the Orton-Gillingham approach is explicit, systematic, and multisensory. For math instruction, know the CRA approach, concrete representational abstract. Start with concrete manipulatives, base 10 blocks, fraction tiles, counters. Move to representational, drawings, number lines, diagrams. Only then go to abstract, numbers and symbols. Students with disabilities often need extended time at concrete and representational stages. Don't rush to abstract too quickly. Universal Design for Learning, UDL, is about proactively designing instruction for all learners from the start. 3 principles. Multiple means of engagement. That's the why of learning, motivation and interest. Multiple means of representation. The what, presenting information in different ways. Multiple means of action and expression. The how, letting students demonstrate learning in different ways. UDL removes barriers before they become problems. Sub-area 4 covers collaboration, 17% of your exam. You need to know co-teaching models, related service provider roles, family collaboration strategies, and the legal foundations of special education. Know your laws. IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, guarantees FAPE, free appropriate public education. It requires least restrictive environment, IEPs, and procedural safeguards. Section 504 has a broader definition of disability and requires reasonable accommodations. The ADA prohibits discrimination and requires accessibility. FERPA protects privacy of student records. Parents have the right to access and request corrections. These laws work together to protect students with disabilities. Final tips for exam day. Allocate your study time based on competency weights. 30% for instruction, 21% for assessment. Know IDEA inside and out. FAPE, LRE, and procedural safeguards. Memorize the 4 functions of behavior. Be clear on IEP versus IFSP differences. For the constructed response, use specific data from the case study and always explain your reasoning. Show your thinking. You now have a solid foundation for the CEOE 085. To maximize your chances of passing, get the complete study guide with all 15 competencies, our 80-question practice test, and interactive vocabulary trainer at teacherpreps.com. Click the link in the description for instant access. You've got this. Good luck on your exam.